Yo guys, Vision here, back with more Minecraft content, and welcome back to My Forever World, episode 4 in our new godlike seed, a realm shared amongst me and my friends, which has been running for over 1250 in-game Minecraft days, and let me tell you, it has been fun, challenging, chaotic, but also exciting all at the same time, and in episode 4 we have progressed rapidly, overcoming many struggles along the way, exploring the far reaches of the world, traveling over 150,000 blocks, which I'll discuss in the video in a bit more depth as to why and what we found, and so on that note, without further ado, let's get right into it. So first things first, welcome back to this Minecraft Forever World series. A little bit of a recap, I guess, just a bit of an overview of where we are so far. Episode 1 was me starting the world, establishing farms, a thriving community, you name it, picking the initial spawning and sort of starting area where we built a sort of civilized community area amongst me and all of the players in this world. Episode 2 went into sort of more in the outer depths of finding diamonds, finding the nether, getting the sort of smithing templates for the netherite, as well as finding a fortress in order to get to the end, and also discussing all of the annoying challenges and obstacles that we had to overcome in order to get to this point in today's world, where we had resets of people dying, including myself, many times, losing some invaluable loot for various different reasons, and having to use methods like fishing, one of the most simplest but pleasant methods in the game, where you can get all your XP that you need and also find some incredible valuable items and rare enchanted stuff. So that is a good tip that we went over in the previous episode. And then in episode 3 we discussed going into the end, defeating the dragon, finding the end cities, of course obtaining an elytra, and of course doing raids along the way to get tokens of undying to help us on our longer journeys, to make sure that if we die far away from home we have another fighting chance, and all of these sort of things that we went over in episode 3. Now in episode 4 we have been busy. I've been working on a base in the background, a hidden mountain base that I've always wanted to build. I've always done something small and low-key in the past when I played this game, but seeing as this is like the first time I'm playing Minecraft Survival in over 10 years, in case you guys weren't aware, I am liking to sort of the mountain environment in this world. The seed has so many snowy mountains, a lot of sort of incredible views, and sort of at the peak of this mountain, which I'll show you in a future episode, you will see exactly what we see in terms of the landscape of the surrounding areas, and I've started working towards that. But in the meantime, I've also been trying to gear out an ultimate set of loot, so that of course if I number one die, I have a spare set of loot, but also I want every type of weapon in the game in my armory that I'm already building along the way, which includes the trident, it also includes the mace. So in this episode I thought I'd just discuss and sort of go over what I've had to encounter so far, as well as finding the woodland mansion, which was an absolute pain in my arse, and I cannot believe the journey I went on to get there, which we'll go over at the very end. Now starting with the trident, I officially just wanted to go and get one so that I have at least one riptide one and one channeling so that I could obtain some mob heads. You know how you get the sort of a creeper skull and the skeleton skull, the zombie skull, all that sort of stuff, so I can build an ultimate trophy room, as you will, which will be in my base, a fundamental aspect that I absolutely love. So as the part of that, I need channeling, and we need to try and get a supercharged creeper and so on. And then as well as that, I want to use the trident to go and take on the Elder Guardian, which we've done in this world, to go and obtain a load of prismarine blocks to try and help me with building methods, but also sea lanterns. I just have a thing for sea lanterns. I love them. I think they're an incredible block, and all the other stuff that comes with them, as well as sponges, you name it. There's just a lot of stuff that I wanted from an ocean monument. Now to remind you guys, in case you guys are new to the series or you're new to my channel in general, I have been playing Minecraft for about 8 months now. We initially set out in a previous series, which was episodes 1 to 25, of completing Minecraft, which entailed finding every structure in the world, including ocean monuments, defeating every boss, exploring every biome, as well as just doing the things in the end game, like finding the nether, getting into the end, and also defeating the dragon. These are the sort of things that we covered in that previous series, which was the first time I have played Minecraft Survival in over 10 years now. I've been playing Minecraft for a long time. I've been playing creative, doing builds in the background, so I somewhat know what I'm doing on this game already, so I'm not an absolute noob, if that's the sort of vibe you're getting from me. Hopefully not, but if you are, that's just a bit of a summary as to why I'm sort of discussing this, because we had a Forever World, and eventually we lost that due to world corruption, so I thought it's worth mentioning that this is our second Forever World, and all of those lessons that we've learned from the previous world, all of those do's and don'ts, and all of the efficient methods that I've picked up and sort of taken on board and incorporated into our new world with regards to farming or with regards to exploration. Like, I mean, we found the elytra pretty quick, although this is a realm, so the days played does look a little bit skewed, because there's people always on this world pretty much, which therefore makes it look like we've been playing it for a long time. We really haven't. I mean, my actual days played is probably like 250, maybe 300, but we split the world into like 6 different players. So as you can imagine, when someone's on doing doing their base on their own. It just obviously builds on the worlds on the days played, so therefore it looks like we've been playing it for a ridiculously long time, which we just haven't at all. But there is a lot going on in this world. We have 6 different players or more, active players at least, and there's just so much going on with regards to builds, exploration, world activities, with regards to sort of structures and bosses, you name it, and it's been really fun, which also includes doing trial chambers, which I absolutely love. I think it's one of the best things in Minecraft. Finding this in the Lost World was one of the coolest features that I was not aware of coming into this game, and I was pleasantly surprised with how enjoyable it is. But the whole purpose of me finding it this time was to try and still try get the mace, which I have got a mace. I found the heavy core, which, in case you guys weren't aware, you need an ominous potion, which you get from the sort of pillager outpost in the overworld, and then you need to go and find a trial chamber, which you can use the trial explorer map, or you can also just use things like chunk base. And once you find a trial chamber, you need to pop that ominous potion, and then you will start ominous trials, which therefore, when you get the trial key, I know this is a long story short, in case you guys weren't aware, like I said, if you guys are new, then this is probably going to be useful for you guys. If you weren't, then just skip through, I guess. But if not, like I said, if you're new, you need a trial key in order to open an ominous trial vault, and once you get those vaults, you can have a chance at finding the heavy core, and that is how you effectively get the mace. I have made a separate guide on my channel in case you guys weren't aware, which is linked in the description for you guys to help you guys, like I said, if you are new to the game and you weren't aware. But yeah, getting the mace was something I really wanted in this world, and the Windburst enchantment has been very difficult. I still am yet to find it. I think I'm 4 or 5 trial chambers in, and I'm still yet to find the Windburst enchantment, and that means that I'm going to have to find so many more trial chambers in order to actually get this thing, because not only do I need Windburst 1, but I want to try and get Windburst 3 for the extra critical damage and the additional height on actually dealing sort of mace damage from jumping off things, you name it. It looks really cool, it feels really fun. I want a mace with Windburst 3. Pretty much it's a forever world. There's no point in having a forever world if you don't have the best sort of things, and that's sort of what you work towards, I guess, in building the ultimate god set of armor, the best tools and weapons, and of course the ultimate base, which that trident and mace are going to go really well in my armor stands and those armor sets, which we're going to work on and give you guys an update in the future episodes in terms of world exploration. But with this world in itself, it's been so incredibly fun so far. But one of the worst things that I've done so far was decide to follow a woodland explorer map. I had no idea how tedious those things were. I thought, you know what, let's do it legit. Let's not use chunk base, because I believe in exploration. I think it's fundamental, as I just went over, in your world's lore. Knowing what's in your world and finding things naturally is the best way to do it, because I don't think it feels like cheating, although it's not. We all know it's not, but realistically, using chunk base and seed finders to help you find things in your world, it doesn't feel normal. It just feels too easy, feels too quick, and it doesn't really allow you to appreciate the journey. So I thought, you know what, let's stick to that. Let's follow this Woodland Explorer map, because I have a cartographer villager in my trading hall, and it took me over 120,000 blocks away, which was no joke. I flew that far away with an elytra. Now, to answer your question, no, I did not just fly straight for 120,000 blocks. I did also have other purposes. There were other blocks and other biomes that I wanted to find along the way, which we did, so it was a success in itself, all in all. I found things like the mesa biomes, those badlands, sort of red sand biomes, where you find all types of terracotta and red sand, all these blocks that I wanted in my base, as well as finding other things that were really useful along the way. I found a stupid amount of pillager outposts, so we have a ridiculous amount of ominous potions, so I can continue to find more trial chambers and use them, as well as doing raids. So it was all really useful, because I found so many stuff, as well as ocean monuments and other things like trial chambers as well on my journey, which was really effective. So it's not like I just flew really far away for the sake of it. I did find and utilize the time spent, but it did take a ridiculous amount of time. I think genuinely getting there and back took me about 8 hours of actual flying gameplay, which is pretty nuts and almost ridiculous when you think about it. And you put it like that, it really is not worth it. I just wanted to find a woodland explorer or a woodland mansion, and it just wasn't worth it. I found one before. They are cool, they're really cool, but they're like the rarest structure in Minecraft, and I thought having a woodland explorer map, it wouldn't take me that far away. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to use chunk base. I'm going to have to break my rule and go on it. And luckily I did, because when I looked at it, the woodland explorer map that I had looked like it was going to be taking me 250,000 blocks away to get me to the one that it looked like it was directing me to, which is an absolute joke. I'm not sure if factually if that is true, but from what I looked on chunk base, that looked like the one it was taking me to, which is just so concerning that it was going to do that. And I'm glad that I actually just, you know what, fed up after 120,000, let's use chunk base. And I actually then found 3 more woodland mansions on my own using the chunk base, which were a lot closer, and then they were actually on my way back down towards my base. So it worked out really well. I got the Vex armor trim, which is really good, because I had to have found that. I'm a hoarder. I like collecting everything. I absolutely need every single armor trim in this game, and the Vex one would have annoyed me if I hadn't found it. I did actually have to find the third one. The third woodland mansion was where I found the Vex trim, which is great, because now I have that, and I'm going to utilize that probably on my armor, because I think it looks really cool, especially especially on netherite armor, and also with an emerald or diamond ore as the equivalent for the color scheme. But anyways, getting off topic. But for the woodland, like with the woodland mansion itself, we got loads of totems, and I also am looking to build a mega library in my mountain base. So getting a load of bookshelves was really useful as well. So like I said, I was incorporating other things that I needed anyway on the journey. So it wasn't a waste of time in itself in its entirety. The longest part was the flying around over 120,000 blocks and then back again. So 240,000 blocks I flew, guys. Pretty sad, I know. But the biggest thing was actually really tedious. Was I thought I'm so far away, I need to put a bed down because if I die right now, which I nearly did by the way from the Vindicators, when I was least expecting, I had so much inventory space. I had problems with my inventory, so I had to sit there at one point and just try and manage my inventory. A stupid Vindicator came out of nowhere and almost put me down to 1 heart. Luckily, I do have totems, like I said anyway, but it was the fact that I literally almost died, and you can die in a heartbeat from those Vindicators, so just bear that in mind, a little bit of a tip. But the point I'm making is I put a bed down because I anticipated that there was a lot of danger in these places. So I thought, let's sleep at one of these places and then go back home and just forget about it and hopefully go back to my base and sleep back at that bed. Well, of course, I forgot to do that. And then when I went to the end the next time, I went into the end, did all the stuff I wanted, found all this load of extra loot in the end cities. And as I left the end, a moment happened when I realized it was taking a long time to leave the end. I realized I was about to spawn over 100,000 blocks away at the furthest woodland mansion, and I was like, oh my god, I've made a ginormous mistake here. However, luckily I had shulker shells on me and also shulker boxes and my ender chest, so I decided to tactically put all of my stuff into shulkers, chuck all of that into an ender chest, and just simply let myself die. And therefore, when I spawn back at the normal spawn point in the base, and obviously, of course, destroy the bed, I would then be able to just run to my base and get all my stuff back out of an end chest, which is what I basically did because I refused to fly another 110,000 blocks after having just done it the night before, which is really tedious. And I'm telling you this both for comical reasons, but also maybe as a tip to help you guys from making a silly mistake like that. But that's pretty much it, guys, in terms of a world update. We've done loads lately. There's so many activities we completed. We're on to so many more and bigger activities with regards to world exploration and also builds. I've got so many builds in mind that I'm working on currently with both my base. We have found an underworld between my base and my friend's base where we're going to connect them both up, which we're currently doing and working towards, and I'm going to show you guys in future episodes. So the next coming out episode in 4 weeks' time will be a massive base update, which will be around my base, my mountain base, the underworld kingdom, with a huge trading hall we're working on, as well as a castle design that I'm building on top of one of the snowy mountains, which is all going to look really cool, and I'm going to tie it all in one day, and you guys are going to be amazed, especially at how long it's going to take in survival, using manual hours and building resources, using things like Blackstone, which I know is going to be crazy and I'm probably going to regret it one day, but I'm going to use Blackstone for a big castle build, which is going to take forever, but it's going to be so satisfying when it's done, and I cannot wait to share with you guys on the journey in playing in this new Forever World, which I've enjoyed every moment so far, and hopefully you guys have too. But if you guys have enjoyed the video, as always, do not forget to like and subscribe and comment down below if you have any tips that you might have for any returning players to the game, or like myself, or perhaps any new players who might be watching this video for the first time. And if you also have any suggestions, whether it's exploration or if it's build ideas, let me know down below and I'll get right back to you. I'm Vision Shen. Hope you enjoyed the video and found this useful, and I'll see you in the next one.